The space station was never quiet, but tonight it felt louder than usual. Engines hummed through the walls, distant voices echoed in the long metal corridors, and the faint smell of recycled air filled the rooms. Alex, a young human mechanic, sat on the edge of his small bed reading the new notice on his datapad. It was short and clear. Due to housing shortage, you will be assigned a new roommate. Report to Docking Bay 7 to meet them. Alex groaned. He liked living alone. The small cabin wasn't much, just one bed, one desk, and a storage unit, but it was his. Now he would have to share, and on this station, share could mean with anyone, human or not. Docking Bay 7 was busy when Alex arrived. Workers in blue jumpsuits moved crates, robots rolled past carrying spare ship parts, and the smell of fuel hung in the air. In the middle of the crowd, a tall figure stood still, scanning the area. With glowing silver eyes, the figure's skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight on water, and its hair, if it could be called hair, was made of thin, flexible strands that moved slightly, as if stirred by a silent breeze. Alex knew at once, alien, not one he recognized from the common species on the station. Either the figure saw him and walked forward with smooth, deliberate steps. Alex Carter. It asked in a voice that was calm but had a strange echo. Yes, Alex said, trying not to stare too much. I am Rin Sol, the alien replied, placing one hand on its chest in what looked like a formal greeting. We will be cohabiting, Alex forced a polite smile. Right? Welcome to my half of the room, I guess. Rin tilted its head slightly, as if examining Alex, then nodded. Your customs are interesting, it said, though Alex hadn't done anything custom-like yet. The walk back to the cabin was quiet. Alex noticed that Rin moved without making a sound. Not a single footstep echoed on the metal floor. The alien carried no luggage, except a small silver case, no bigger than a lunchbox. When Alex asked if that was all their stuff, Rin only replied, "It is all I require." Inside the cabin, Rin looked around slowly, scanning every surface, the desk, the shelves, even the air vents. Before setting the silver case down on the empty bed, Alex pretended not to notice. He sat back on his bed and started tightening the bolts on a small repair tool. But his eyes kept drifting toward Rin, the alien silver. Eyes caught the light strangely, as if they were reflecting something invisible. Do you need anything? Alex asked. No, Rin said, then paused. You keep your sleeping area. Uncovered, Alex glanced at his bed. Just a blanket. And a pillow? Nothing strange. Yeah, he said slowly. Why? How do you sleep? In shadows, Rin replied simply, then began adjusting the light settings in their corner until it was much dimmer, almost dark. Alex decided not to ask more questions. Some things were easier to ignore, at least for now. That first night, Alex found it hard to sleep. The dim light from Rin's side of the room made strange shadows on the wall. Every now and then, he could hear a faint clicking sound, like someone tapping their fingers on glass. Once, he thought he saw Rin standing by the window, looking out at the endless black space beyond, their silver hair moving as if in a wind that wasn't there. The next morning, Alex woke to find Rin already awake, sitting cross-legged on their bed. Eyes closed, breathing slow and steady. For a moment, Alex thought the alien was meditating. But then he noticed something. Rin's skin seemed to ripple, almost like liquid metal, and faint patterns appeared and disappeared across it. Before Alex could say anything, Rin's eyes opened, and the patterns faded. You rise early, Rin said. Alex shrugged. Habit from my job? Rin nodded. It is good to keep habits. It makes one predictable. That last sentence made Alex pause. It sounded less like casual conversation and more like an observation. He wondered what exactly Rin was trying to predict. Over the next few days, Alex learned a few things. Rin never ate in front of him. They didn't sleep in a normal way. Sometimes they would sit completely still for hours, and then suddenly be alert again. They never used the shared bathroom, and they always kept that small silver case locked. Sometimes Alex caught Rin studying him, not in a curious, friendly way, more like a scientist observing a specimen. It made him uneasy. But Rin never crossed any obvious lines, so Alex tried to ignore it. Still, there was one thing Alex couldn't ignore. Every time Rin's gaze passed over his uncovered skin, his hands, his neck, his face, the alien's eyes would flash a little brighter, and for a moment, Rin would stop. Whatever they were doing, it was subtle, but Alex noticed. He didn't know why. Yet, late one night, as Alex worked on a small engine part at his desk, Rin spoke suddenly from their dark corner. "Humans," Rin said softly. "You are?" "Different." Alex turned. "Different how?" Rin's silver eyes glowed faintly. "In the shadows, you will see." "In time," Alex frowned. He didn't know what that meant, but something in Rin's voice made him uneasy. It wasn't a threat exactly, but it wasn't comfort either. And somewhere deep down, Alex knew this roommate arrangement was going to be far more complicated than he had imagined. Life with Rin was never boring. It was confusing, strange, and sometimes a little unsettling, but boring. Never. Alex had lived with other humans before. Back on Earth, he knew what to expect from a roommate noise. Mess. Maybe someone who left socks everywhere. Rin was the complete opposite. No mess, no noise, no socks. In fact, sometimes it felt like Rin wasn't even there, except they were there, always quietly watching, quietly listening. Small cultural wars. The first clash happened over food. Alex had just heated a bowl of instant noodles, the good kind with real vegetables. The smell filled the small cabin. Rin watched from their bed, eyes focused on the steam rising from the bowl. "You burn plants?" Rin asked. Alex laughed. "It's called cooking." "Cooking," Rin repeated slowly, as if tasting the word. "And then you eat them?" "Yeah, that's how food works," Alex said. Blowing on the noodles, Rin tilted their head. "Strange. Where I come from, plants are not to be consumed." Alex raised an eyebrow. "What do you eat then?" Rin only smiled. "Things you would not understand." That was the end of that conversation, but Alex noticed Rin never touched anything. From the station cafeteria, sometimes Alex heard a faint hum at night, like the sound of a machine, and guessed Rin might be making their own meals in some alien way. The touch problem one day. Alex brushed past Rin while moving a heavy crate in their cabin. It was a small touch, just his elbow against Rin's arm, but Rin froze instantly. Their silver skin shimmered for half a second, and their eyes widened. Alex stepped back. "Sorry, didn't mean to. It is fine." Rin interrupted quickly, but their voice was tight after that. Rin seemed to keep more distance than before. Alex began to wonder if physical contact meant something serious in Rin's culture, or maybe something dangerous. The mysterious case, that small silver case, was always near Rin. They took it with them everywhere, even to the station library, the training rooms, and the observation deck. One evening, while Rin was away, Alex stared at it for a long time. It was perfectly smooth. No lock, no handle, no visible seam. When he touched it, it was warm, almost alive. The moment he pulled his hand back, the cabin door opened. Rin stepped in and stopped, eyes on Alex's hand. For the first time, their calm face looked sharp. "Do not touch that again," Rin said quietly, no anger in their voice, but something worse, a warning. The night whispers. The station had a quiet hour between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, when most people slept, but Alex often stayed up late fixing parts or reading. One night, he heard Rin speaking in a low voice. Not to him, not in English. The words were sharp, flowing, almost musical. The sound came from a small device in their hand, not the silver case, something else. Alex couldn't understand the language, but the tone. It didn't sound friendly. It sounded like a report when Rin noticed Alex watching. They stopped speaking instantly. "Who were you talking to?" Alex asked. "No one you will ever meet." Rin said simply. The window hab every day. Rin would spend at least an hour standing by the window, staring into space. Not just at stars, their gaze seemed fixed on something far away, as if expecting it to appear at any moment. Once Alex tried to joke about it, expecting a pizza delivery. Rin didn't smile. "Something will come. It always comes." Alex didn't know what that meant, but it made the hairs on his neck stand up. The first real conversation after 2 weeks, Alex decided to try breaking the ice. He found Rin sitting on their bed, silently polishing a strange metal tool. "So," Alex began, "you're from..." "Where exactly?" Rin paused. "Far. That's not a real answer," Alex said with a small smile. "It is the only answer that matters," Rin replied, setting the tool down. "My home is not for humans to see." Alex leaned forward. "You don't trust humans." Rin's silver eyes met his. "I trust you enough to share air." That is something. It wasn't exactly a compliment, but it was the longest sentence Rin had ever said to him about trust. The growing suspicion, the more time Alex spent with Rin, the more he noticed little things. Rin always positioned themselves so they could see the cabin door. They never turned their back completely to Alex, and whenever Alex's shirt sleeve rolled up, exposing more skin, Rin's gaze would lock onto it for just a moment before they looked away. It wasn't like attraction, it was more like recognition, as if Alex's bare skin reminded them of something important, something dangerous. That night, as Alex lay in bed, he heard Rin's voice in the dark. "Human," Rin said softly, almost like a thought escaping. "Yeah?" Alex replied sleepily. "If you knew what you are, you would not sleep so easily." Alex sat up, but Rin had already closed their eyes. Ending the conversation, sleep didn't come easy after that. It happened on a normal station morning, or at least it started normal. Alex woke up early, as always. He had a shift in the repair bay and needed a quick shower before work. Rin was gone, or at least that's what Alex thought. The aliens' bed was empty, their silver case missing, and the cabin door log showed they'd left an hour ago. Alex relaxed. It was nice having the cabin to himself for a few minutes. He showered, humming softly, letting the warm steam wash away the station's recycled chill. When he stepped out, towel around his waist. He didn't bother being careful after all. No one was here. He walked into the main cabin space, dripping water onto the floor, and froze. Rin was standing by the window, silent, unmoving. They must have returned without Alex hearing. For a long second, neither of them moved. Alex's towel was loose. Rin's silver eyes were wide, wider than Alex had ever seen. Their pupils tightened into thin slits, and the faint shimmer of their skin flared brighter, like moonlight on glass. Alex grabbed the towel tighter. "Sorry, I thought you were Rin." Didn't respond. They were breathing quickly, their chest rising and falling in short bursts. Then, without a word, they turned sharply and left the cabin. The door hissed shut. Alex stood there, heart pounding. It wasn't just embarrassment. It was the look in Rin's eyes. Not disgust, not surprise, but something closer to fear. Avoidance. The rest of the day was strange. Rin didn't speak to him at all when Alex came back from work. The alien was sitting in the dark, eyes fixed on the silver case. "Hey," Alex tried. No answer, just a small nod. Over the next 2 days, it didn't get better. If Alex entered the room, Rin would leave. If Alex tried to start a conversation, Rin would respond with the shortest words possible. It was like the accident had changed something between them, broken something invisible. But there was something else too. Alex noticed Rin watching him more often not in open stares, but in quick, sharp glances, especially when his sleeves were rolled up or when he changed clothes. It wasn't curiosity. It felt like measurement, the slip on the third night after the accident. Alex was lying in bed when he heard a faint click. Rin was on their side of the cabin, speaking softly into that strange device again. This time, Alex caught a word. It wasn't English, but it sounded like his own name. He sat up. "Are you talking about me?" Rin froze, the device still in their hand. Slowly, they turned. "It is not for you to hear." "That's not an answer," Alex said, getting out of bed. "Why have you been acting so weird since that morning?" Rin's jaw tightened. "Their eyes flashed silver bright for a moment. "You revealed too much," they said finally. Alex blinked. "What?" "Because I was naked." "That's just human life. It's not a big deal. For you," Rin said softly. "For me? For my people. It means something else." The meaning. Alex waited. Rin stood very still, as if choosing every word with care. "In my culture," they said, "seeing another being in their unshielded form is only possible in two cases: before battle or before death." Alex frowned. "That's intense." "It is truth," Rin replied. "Your skin, your shape, is not simply a body to us. It is a sign, a signal of what you are." Alex crossed his arms. "And what am I?" Rin's gaze didn't waver. "You are what we feared. And what some of us worship." Alex gave a half laugh. "That's crazy." "I'm just a mechanic." Rin shook their head. "Not. To my people, you are the awakener." The breaking point. Before Alex could process that, the cabin lights flickered. A faint alarm began to hum through the walls. Docking alert, Rin walked to the window quickly. Alex followed and saw a small, dark ship sliding into the station's outer bay. It was sleek, black, and carried no visible markings. A smuggler's design, or worse. Rin's voice was low but urgent. "They are here." "Who's here?" Alex asked. "The ones who believe the old ways," Rin said. "They know a human walks this station now." Alex tried to laugh it off. "So, humans live on lots of stations. Not like you," Rin said, eyes still on the ship. "They saw you, unshielded. That is enough." The last words before the storm. Rin turned to Alex. "Do not leave the cabin. Do not speak to anyone. If they find you, they will not ask questions." Alex frowned. "Why? What could I possibly?" Rin stepped closer, their voice dropping. "Because, Alex Carter, to them, you are not a person. You are a weapon. And they will either try to use you or destroy you." Before Alex could respond, Rin grabbed the silver case, slung it over their shoulder, and left the cabin. The door sealed behind them, leaving Alex alone in the quiet hum of the space station. But Alex knew that quiet wouldn't last. After the black ship docked, nothing felt normal. The station kept moving. People kept working, but for Alex, the air felt heavier. Every sound seemed sharper. Every footstep in the corridor, every hiss of the air vents, every distant voice. Rin was gone most of the day. When they returned, they spoke even less than before. But Alex noticed something. The alien moved differently now. Before, Rin's movements had been quiet but calm. Now they were quick, precise, like a soldier scanning for threats. Eyes that measured whenever Rin looked at Alex. Now their gaze wasn't just curious, it was calculating, like they were constantly checking. Is he ready? Can he survive? Will he do what needs to be done? One evening, Alex caught Rin staring at his bare forearm again, still obsessed with my skin. Alex tried to joke. Rin didn't smile. Your skin is not skin. Alex sighed. Yeah. You said it's some kind of signal to your people? Rin shook their head slowly. Not only to my people. Alex frowned. Meaning what? But Rin didn't answer. They just went back to polishing that strange, curved blade they kept hidden most of the time. The first sign 3 days later, Alex woke up in the middle of the night. The cabin lights were dim, but Rin wasn't in bed. Alex spotted them by the window again, only this time, their silver hair was glowing faintly. Their skin patterns, the ones Alex had seen before, were shifting rapidly, like they were alive. "What are you doing?" Alex asked quietly. Rin didn't turn. Listening to what? Rin finally faced him, eyes brighter than ever. To them, before Alex could ask who they were, the cabin's air felt different, warm and charged, like the air before a lightning strike. Alex's skin prickled, and for a split second, he swore the room's shadows bent toward him. Then, it was gone. What was that? Alex whispered. "You felt it," Rin said, almost like it was a test. "Yeah, I felt something." Rin stepped closer. "It has begun." Training without asking the next day. Rin changed their approach. They started giving Alex strange instructions without explaining why. "Hold this metal bar." They said once. "Why?" "Just hold it," Rin insisted. When Alex grabbed it, it felt heavier than it should. But after a few seconds, the weight seemed to lessen. Rin watched closely. "Good," they said, taking it back without further comment. Another time, Day handed Alex a small sphere, smooth and black. "Throw it at me," Rin said. Alex laughed. "No way." "I'll hit you." "Throw it." Alex threw. Rin caught it without looking, their hand moving so fast it was a blur. "Again," Rin said. They kept going until Alex's arms ached, avoiding the question, "Why are we doing this?" Alex asked one night after another round of strange exercises. Rin was silent for a long time. Finally they said, "Because when the time comes, you will not have time to learn." "That's not an answer," Alex said, frustrated. "It is all the answer you need," Rin replied, turning away. The visitors 2 days later, Alex noticed something strange in the station corridors. Groups of tall figures in black coats walked together, never speaking, never smiling. They weren't part of station security. Alex knew the uniforms well. These were outsiders, and whenever they passed, Alex swore he could feel their eyes on him, even through the crowd. That night, Rin returned to the cabin, tense and alert. "They have seen you," they said. Alex's stomach tightened. The guys in the black coats. "Yes," Rin said. "They will not wait long." A glimpse of the truth. Rin sat on their bed, opened the silver case for the first time, and pulled something out. A thin metallic band shaped to fit around a wrist. They held it out to Alex. "Put it on." Alex hesitated. "What is it?" "Protection," Rin said simply. When Alex slipped it on, it tightened instantly, fitting perfectly. The metal warmed against his skin, and for a moment he felt a pulse in it, like a heartbeat. "What is this thing doing?" he asked. "It is reading you," Rin said, "and when the moment comes, it will answer." Alex pulled his arm back. "Answer to what?" Rin's silver eyes locked onto his. "To what you are." The last warning later that night, as the station lights dimmed for rest cycle. Rin spoke from the darkness. "When I first arrived, I thought you were just another human. And now?" Alex asked. "Now," Rin said quietly, "I think you are the reason I was sent here." "Even if I did not know it," Alex swallowed. "And what reason is that?" "Ah." Rin's voice dropped even lower. "To keep you alive long enough for the awakening." Alex didn't sleep after that. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what Rin meant and why. Deep down, part of him already knew the answer. The station felt different now. The usual noise of engines and voices seemed distant. It was as if the air itself knew something was coming. Alex hadn't seen the black-coated visitors for 2 days. But that didn't make him feel safer. If anything, the quiet made it worse. It was the kind of silence that happens right before a storm. Rin spent more time away from the cabin, when they returned. Their clothes smelled faintly of cold metal and engine oil, not from the repair bay, but from somewhere deeper in the station where Alex had never been. They carried the silver case everywhere now. And Alex noticed they kept glancing at the cabin door as if expecting someone to break it down. The question Alex couldn't ignore that night. Alex finally decided he'd had enough. He was tired of half answers, tired of feeling like he was walking into danger blind. Rin, he said, standing in the middle of the cabin, we're done playing this game. Tell me the truth. What am I to you? Rin's silver eyes reflected the dim cabin light. For a moment, they didn't speak. Then they set the silver case on the bed, opened it slowly, and pulled out a flat, crystal-like disc. It shimmered faintly, patterns swirling inside like trapped smoke. This, Rin said, holding it between them, is a record from my world. It is older than your species' first cities. The legend. Rin tapped the crystal, and it projected an image in the air, not a clear picture, but a moving shape made of light. It showed a tall, bare-skinned figure, not alien, but not quite human either, standing against a dark sky filled with strange ships. In our oldest stories, Rin began, there was a being called the Awakener. They looked like you, human skin, human eyes, human heart, but they carried within them a force we cannot name. The image shifted to show the figure raising their hand. Light exploded from their body, tearing through enemy ships. Whole fleets fell in seconds. To my people, Rin continued. Seeing someone in their unshielded form, without armor, without barriers, was to see their truest nature. And for the Awakener, that was power enough to change wars. The dangerous belief licks crossed his arms. So you think I'm this Awakener thing? That's crazy. Belief shapes action. Rin replied, there are those in the galaxy who believe the legend. If they think you are the Awakener, they will act. And by act, you mean? Alex asked. Though he already guessed, Rin's voice hardened. Some will try to control you. Others will try to kill you before you can awaken. Alex felt a cold weight in his chest, and the people in black coats. They are Krith. They believe in the legend more than anyone. They think the Awakener is a weapon, one they can use to burn entire worlds. Why Rin was here? Alex took a step closer. So why are you here? To protect me, or to deliver me to them? Rin's gaze didn't waver. At first, I did not know why I was sent. My orders were to observe, to record, to decide if you were a threat. Alex's jaw tightened. And what's the verdict? Rin paused, then said, I no longer think you are a threat. I think you are. Necessary? Necessary for what? Alex asked, his voice sharper now. For what comes next? Rin replied simply. The proof. Alex didn't want. Rin set the crystal disc aside and reached into the silver case again, pulling out the wristband they had given Alex before. Put it on, they said. Alex hesitated but obeyed. The moment it locked around his wrist, a strange warmth spread through his arm. Then, to his shock, symbols began glowing along the band. Not random patterns, but shapes that matched the ones swirling in the crystal's projection earlier. What's it doing? Alex asked. It is reading your biofield, Rin said, and it is responding. Alex swallowed hard. Responding how? Rin leaned in slightly. It recognizes you. The unwanted choice. Alex pulled the band off and set it on the bed. I'm not your legend, Rin. I'm not a hero. I'm not a weapon. I'm just, you are what you are. Rin interrupted, and the galaxy will not care what you want to be. The Krith will come, and when they do, you will either stand with me, or you will die. Silence filled the cabin. Alex felt his pulse in his throat. Part of him wanted to laugh it off, walk away, forget this whole thing. But deep down, he knew Rin wasn't lying. The last thing Rin said that night as Alex turned toward his bed, Rin spoke again, voice quiet but firm. When I first saw you unshielded, I was afraid. they said, because I knew the legend was not just a story. I had seen the signs before, but never so clearly. Alex looked over his shoulder, and now, Rin said, I fear something else that you will awaken too late. Alex didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the image from the crystal, a human-shaped figure standing against the dark, light pouring from their body, and in the shadows of his thoughts, a question he couldn't shake. What if they're right? The station's artificial morning began as usual. Lights brightened in the corridors. The cafeteria filled with workers, and the hum of engines stayed steady in the background. But Alex could feel it. Something was wrong. It was the kind. A feeling that didn't come from noise or sight, but from somewhere deep inside. Rin didn't speak much at breakfast. They kept glancing at the cabin door, as if expecting someone to walk in uninvited. When Alex asked what was going on, Rin only said, the Krith are moving. The first sign Alex didn't see the Krith right away, but their presence was everywhere. Security patrols doubled. Some corridors were closed for maintenance, and certain docking bays were sealed without warning. Whispers spread through the station about missing workers, about strangers asking for a human mechanic. Alex didn't need anyone to tell him who they were looking for that night. Rin returned to the cabin carrying a small bag of supplies, water, dried food, and what looked like strange metal rods. What's all this? Alex asked. Preparation, Rin replied, placing the rods into the silver case. If they come for you, there will be no time to pack. Alex tried to keep his voice calm. You keep talking like it's already decided they'll find me. Rin didn't look up. It is decided. They are not searching, they are closing in. The first attack hit happened the next day. Alex was working in the repair bay, replacing a coolant valve, when the alarm blared. Security breach. Outer levels compromised. Workers scrambled for the exits. Through the chaos, Alex saw them, tall, black-coated figures moving in perfect formation. Their steps slow but deliberate. Their faces were hidden behind smooth masks, and each carried a long, narrow weapon that didn't look like anything in human design. One of them turned its masked face toward Alex, even from across the room. Alex felt the weight of their attention before he could move. Rin appeared in the bay entrance. Now, Rin shouted, grabbing Alex by the arm. The escape through the station they ran, weaving through corridors as the alarm lights flashed red. The Krith were calm, not rushing, but somehow always appearing a few steps ahead. Rin led Alex down maintenance shafts and through narrow tunnels that smelled of oil and dust. Where are we going? Alex gasped. A place they will hesitate to follow, Rin said, never slowing. Why would they hesitate? 'Cause they are not the only ones who feared the Awakener. The hidden room. They stopped at an unmarked door deep in the engineering section. Rin pressed their hand to the panel, and the door slid open to reveal a dim, cramped room filled with old equipment. This is from before the station's expansion, Rin explained. Few know it exists. Alex collapsed onto a crate, trying to catch his breath. They're hunting me like I'm some kind of prize. Rin's silver eyes glinted in the dim light. You are? Before Alex could respond, the door panel flashed red. Someone was trying to override the lock from the outside. The Standrin pulled the curved blade from their belt and placed the silver case beside Alex. If they come in, you take the case and run. Do not stop. Do not look back. Alex shook his head. I'm not leaving you. This is not about me. Rin interrupted sharply. If they take you, the galaxy burns. The panel beeped again. The lock failed. The door slid open. But instead of the Krith, a tall, hooded figure stepped inside. Their face was hidden, but their voice was deep and calm. You are difficult to find, human. The message. Alex stood, his hands clenched. What do you want from me? The figure took a slow step forward. You are more valuable than you know. Come with us, and we will show you the truth of what you are. Rin moved between them, blade raised. You mean turn him into your weapon? The figure's tone didn't change. Better a weapon for us than a danger to all. Alex's mind raced. They were offering him answers, the thing Rin had been hiding piece by piece, but the way they spoke made his skin crawl. Not interested, Alex said finally. The figure tilted their head. Then you have chosen war. The smoke and the flight in one fluid motion. The figure threw a small device to the floor. It burst into thick, choking smoke. Rin pulled Alex toward the back wall and hit a hidden panel. A small hatch opened, revealing another maintenance shaft. They crawled through as shouts and footsteps filled the room behind them. When they finally emerged into the lower decks, Alex could still hear the echo of the figure's last words in his head. You have chosen war. The moment of resolve, they made it back to the cabin hours later. Both exhausted, Rin locked the door and set the silver case on the bed. You see now? Rin said quietly, they will not stop. Not until you are theirs. Or gone. Alex sat down, still catching his breath. Then maybe it's time I stop running, he said, surprising even himself. Rin studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. Then we prepare. Alex didn't know what prepare meant in Rin's language, but he knew it wouldn't be easy. And somewhere deep inside, past the fear, past the confusion, he felt something else, something that had been quiet until now, a spark, waiting. The days after the attack felt like a countdown. Every hour was heavier than the one before. Alex could feel the pressure in the air, not just from the Krith hunting him, but from Rin. The alien moved with quiet urgency now, training him every day without explaining all the rules. The last training again, Rin said. Tossing the black sphere, Alex caught it, his arms no longer aching the way they had in the beginning. Faster, Rin commanded. And this time, Alex didn't just catch it, he felt it coming before it left Rin's hand. He dropped the sphere onto the table. You're not training me to fight, are you? Rin's silver eyes narrowed slightly. No, I'm training you to wake up. Alex opened his mouth to ask more, but the station alarm cut him off. It wasn't the slow pulsing of a normal alert. This was a sharp, continuous siren. Rin's head snapped toward the door. They're here. The breach, the corridor outside the cabin shook with the thump of heavy boots. Shouts echoed through the metal halls. Rin grabbed the silver case and the curved blade, tossing Alex the wristband. Put it on now. Alex hesitated for a heartbeat, then snapped it onto his wrist. This time, the warmth came instantly, spreading up his arm and into his chest. The metal symbols lit brighter than before. He could almost hear them humming. The cabin door hissed open. 3 Kriths stepped inside, black coats flowing, weapons raised. Rin moved first, faster than Alex's eyes could follow. Deflecting the first shot with their blade, the room filled with the sharp electric smell of energy fire. The choice one of the Krith broke past Rin and grabbed Alex by the collar. Their mask was inches from his face. You are wasted here. The voice inside the mask said, come, and we will make you into what you were meant to be. The wristband on Alex's arm pulsed hard. Something deep inside him answered that pulse. A strange heat spread through his body. Not like panic, not like fear. Something older, heavier. He didn't think. He moved. The awakening, his hand shot up. Grabbing the Krith's wrist, there was a flash. Not from a weapon, but from his skin. Light burst from his palm, so bright the Krith staggered back. Alex's ears rang, and for a moment, everything slowed. He saw Rin's face, calm but focused. He saw the Krith shielding their eyes. And he saw himself in the reflection of a broken metal panel, his skin glowing faintly, as if lit from the inside. The glow faded just as fast as it came, leaving him gasping. But in those few seconds, the room had changed. 2 of the Krith, lay unconscious, their weapons sparking on the floor. The escape into the unknown, Rin pulled him toward the door. "We can't stay," they said. Alex stumbled. After them, still feeling the strange heat inside. What was that? He demanded the beginning, Rin said without looking back. They moved through the chaos of the station, past locked blast doors and frightened workers until they reached a small, unmarked docking hatch. Inside was a small shuttle, half hidden. Under cargo nets, Rin jumped into the pilot's seat. "Strap in," they ordered. Alex did, his hands still shaking. The truth at last is, the shuttle lifted away from the station. Alex looked out the window at the shrinking lights. "You knew?" "This would happen," he said. "Yes," Rin replied simply. "And you didn't tell me? If I told you, you would not have believed," Rin said. Their hands steady on the controls. It had to happen. You had to feel it. Alex stared at the glowing wristband, the symbols now pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "So, what now?" Rin's silver eyes flicked toward him. "Now, they will hunt us harder than ever. But you are no longer unprepared." The final twist, they broke through the outer orbit and into open space. For a moment, Alex thought they were safe. Then the radar lit up, dozens of small ships appearing from the dark. Surrounding them in a loose net, Rin didn't look surprised. "They were waiting," they said quietly. Alex's stomach twisted. "So we're trapped." "No," Rin said. Their gaze fixed on him. "We're exactly where we need to be." Before Alex could respond, Rin reached over and pressed the wristband on his arm. The symbols blazed bright white. The strange heat inside him roared back, stronger than before. Alex's breath caught. "What's happening?" Rin's voice was calm but urgent. "The legend says the Awakener's true power only comes when there is no way out." "Alex Carter, you are about to find out if that's true." Outside, the Krith ships began to close in. Inside, Alex felt the light building again, and somewhere deep inside, past fear, past doubt. He felt something else, not just a spark this time, but a flame, the cockpit filled with a white glow. The nearest Krith ships slowed, then began to pull back, and Alex realized they weren't retreating from the shuttle. They were retreating from him. The glow kept growing until it filled his vision completely, and then, black.